Officer Michael O'Brien never thought his routine patrol would lead him to a dumpster, his heart pounding not from danger but from a whimper. It was faint, almost non-existent, but it was there. He followed the sound, each step filled with dread, his mind racing with possibilities. His flashlight beam landed on a small, shivering bundle nestled amongst the refuse. It was a baby. Her eyes, wide with fear, met his with a gaze that spoke volumes in silence. She was so small, so vulnerable, her skin pale and clammy, discarded like trash, left to die. Anger surged through him, hot and fierce, but he pushed it down, knowing his priority was the helpless life before him. Gently, he reached down, his large hand dwarfing her tiny form. He scooped her up, the stench of the dumpster fading as he held her close, her warmth a stark contrast to the cold night air. He knew he had to act fast. With urgency, he called for backup, his voice steady despite the turmoil inside. Within minutes, an ambulance arrived, and he handed the fragile life over to the paramedics. As the ambulance sped away, he felt a surge of determination. This was just the beginning. Sirens wailed, their urgency mirroring the frantic beat of Michael's heart. He cradled the baby close as he sprinted towards his patrol car, her shallow breaths fueling his every step. The hospital, usually a place he avoided, couldn't come soon enough. Every red light felt like an eternity, every second ticking by a victory against fate. At the hospital, nurses, their faces a mix of shock and concern, took the baby from his arms. He watched, helpless, as they whisked her away, disappearing behind swinging double doors. The silence that followed was deafening, broken only by the echo of his own heartbeat. Hours crawled by. He paced the waiting room, each tick of the clock an agonizing reminder of the fragility of life. Finally, a doctor emerged, fatigue etched on his face but a hint of a smile in his eyes. "She's going to be okay, officer. She's a fighter." Relief washed over him, so profound it left him weak. She was going to live. He had saved her. The tiny miracle they called her Hope. Found without a name, a past, an identity, she clung to life with a tenacity that mirrored the spirit of the city she was found in. Michael, a man who had shut himself off from the world, his heart hardened by years on the force, found himself drawn to her. He visited every day, watching her grow stronger, her laughter music to his ears. He held her tiny hand through the bars of the crib, marveling at her strength, her resilience. He brought her toys, his gruff exterior melting away as he spun tales of brave knights and magical princesses. He watched her eyes widen in wonder, her toothless grin his reward. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Hope thrived, her laughter echoing through the sterile halls of the hospital. And Michael, the hardened cop, found a piece of himself he thought long gone, reawakened by the innocent love of a child who had chosen him. The day Hope left the hospital, her tiny hand clutching his finger, Michael knew his life had changed irrevocably. He signed the adoption papers without hesitation, his heart overflowing with a love he never thought he was capable of. He was no longer just Officer O'Brien, he was a father. He transformed his apartment, once a testament to his bachelorhood, into a haven of color and laughter. He learned to navigate the world of sleepless nights, diaper changes, and the constant wonder that came with watching a child discover the world. He told her stories of her rescue, never shying away from the truth, but framing it in a way her young mind could understand. He watched her blossom, her laughter his constant companion. She had a spirit that could light up the darkest room, a resilience that spoke to the strength she had possessed from her first breath. He vowed to protect her, to give her the life she deserved, a life filled with love and laughter, a life free from the fear she had known in her first hours. Years passed in a blur of school plays, scraped knees, and bedtime stories. Hope grew, her bright spirit undimmed. She excelled in school, her kindness and compassion radiating outwards, touching everyone she met. Michael watched her, pride swelling in his chest, his heart aching with a love that knew no bounds. Yet amidst the joyous chaos of their life, a question lingered in the back of Michael's mind. Who were Hope's parents? Why had they abandoned her? The questions haunted him, resurfacing in the quiet moments, a constant reminder of the darkness that had touched her young life. He tried to find answers, scouring old case files, chasing dead-end leads. But Hope's past remained a mystery, a puzzle with missing pieces. He knew the truth was out there somewhere, waiting to be uncovered. He owed her that much, to know where she came from, to understand the circumstances that had led her to him. Hope's 18th birthday was approaching, a milestone that filled Michael with both pride and a tinge of sadness. She was growing up, spreading her wings, ready to take on the world. He knew he couldn't shield her forever, but the thought of her leaving the nest filled him with a familiar ache. He was going through his old things looking for a special gift for her, when he stumbled upon a dusty box he hadn't opened in years. It contained mementos from that fateful night, the blanket he'd wrapped her in, the tiny hat she'd worn, and at the very bottom, a faded envelope. His heart pounded as he recognized his own handwriting on the front. He had written this letter to Hope years ago, pouring out his feelings, his hopes, his fears. But there was something else inside, something that had been tucked away, forgotten. It was a small silver locket tarnished with age. It felt heavy in his hand, a tangible link to a past he knew nothing about. Hope's eyes widened as she opened the locket, its silver surface reflecting her own curiosity. Inside, nestled against the worn velvet, lay a tiny faded photograph. Two faces, young and full of life, stared back at her. A man and a woman, their smiles mirroring her own, her parents. The revelation hit her like a tidal wave, washing away the comfortable narrative of her life, leaving her adrift in a sea of questions. Who were these people? Why had they abandoned her? The questions that had haunted Michael for years now burned in her own heart, a yearning for connection, for understanding. She knew she had to find out the truth. Armed with the locket and the faded photograph, she embarked on a quest to uncover her past. She scoured online databases, chased down leads, each step bringing her closer to the truth, each answer unearthing new questions. The journey was filled with dead ends and false hopes, but Hope refused to give up. She owed it to herself, to Michael, to the memory of the two strangers in the photograph, to find out what had happened all those years ago. The address led her to a modest house on the outskirts of the city. Her hand trembled as she knocked, her heart pounding a frantic rhythm against her ribs. The door creaked open, revealing a woman, her face etched with the passage of time, but her eyes held the same warmth, the same kindness that she saw in the faded photograph. "Hello?" the woman asked, her voice laced with concern. "My name is Hope," she began, her voice trembling slightly, "and I think you might be my—" The words caught in her throat, the weight of the moment threatening to overwhelm her. But before she could finish, the woman's eyes widened, her hand flying to her mouth. Tears welled up, blurring her vision as she uttered a single word, a word that shattered the silence and filled the space between them with a lifetime of unspoken emotions. Hope. The truth, like most things in life, was far more complicated than Hope could have ever imagined. Her parents, she learned, were young and deeply in love, but their families disapproved of their relationship. They ran away, determined to build a life together, but their happiness was short-lived. Her father, a struggling artist, got involved with a dangerous crowd, desperate to make ends meet. He owed a debt he couldn't repay, and when he refused to do another job, they threatened his family. Her mother, pregnant with Hope, begged him to flee, to protect their unborn child. He refused, unwilling to live a life on the run. One cold December night, their worst fears came true. Their apartment was ransacked, their meager belongings destroyed. They knew they had to disappear to protect their baby. With heavy hearts, they left Hope in the only place they thought she might be found, a busy street near a police station. It was the hardest decision they ever had to make, but they believed it was the only way to keep her safe. The reunion was bittersweet, filled with tears of joy, sorrow, and the overwhelming relief of finally knowing the truth. Hope learned that her father had passed away a few years later, a victim of the life he had tried so hard to escape. Her mother, heartbroken and racked with guilt, had spent years searching for her, never giving up hope that she would one day find her daughter. Michael, his heart heavy with the knowledge of their sacrifice, welcomed Hope's mother into their lives with open arms. He saw the love in her eyes, the same love that had driven him to protect Hope all those years ago. They were a family, bound by a past they could not change, but united by a love that transcended time and circumstance. Hope finally understood the depth of her parents' love, the sacrifices they had made to keep her safe. She carried their memory with her, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, love could prevail. She had found her family, not in the traditional sense, but in the hearts of two extraordinary people who had loved her unconditionally, each in their own way. Life moved on, its rhythm a comforting constant. Hope graduated from college, her compassion leading her to a career where she could make a difference in the world. She kept in close contact with her mother, their bond unbreakable after years of separation. Michael, his hair now streaked with silver, watched her with pride, his heart filled with gratitude for the tiny life that had entered his world and changed it forever. He had found his purpose in the most unexpected of places, in the innocent eyes of a baby girl abandoned to fate. He had been her protector, her confidant, her father in every way that mattered. As Hope navigated the challenges and triumphs of adulthood, she carried the lessons of her past with her. She knew the transformative power of love, the importance of forgiveness, and the strength that came from facing the unknown with courage and grace. She lived her life with a grateful heart, knowing that her story, though born out of tragedy, was ultimately one of hope, resilience, and the enduring power of the human spirit. The echo of that cold December night, the whimper from the dumpster, had led to a symphony of love, a testament to the enduring strength of the human spirit and the unbreakable bonds forged in the face of adversity. Pause 2S. In the next 30 minutes, the story takes an unexpected turn. Michael, now a celebrated figure in his community for his heroic past, faces a new challenge that tests his resolve and courage. A mysterious message arrives, hinting at a danger that threatens the very foundation of the life he has built. Pause 1S. As he delves deeper into the enigma, the secrets he uncovers are ones that were meant to stay hidden. Each revelation is a piece of a dark puzzle, leading him to question everything he thought he knew. The clock is ticking, and every second counts. With his daughter Hope by his side, their bond is once again put to the test. Together, they must navigate the treacherous path of truth and deception. Enter Sarah, a former ally turned adversary whose motives are shrouded in mystery. Michael faces a moral dilemma: to protect his family or to uncover a truth that could destroy them. The stakes are higher than ever, and the past is ready to resurface with a vengeance. Pause 1S. Will Michael be able to save the day once again, or will the shadows of the past come back to haunt him? Stay tuned to find out as the story unfolds in a gripping finale that will leave you on the edge of your seat. The journey of love, resilience, and the power of the human spirit continues, but now, with a new chapter of uncertainty and suspense. The clock is ticking and the hero must rise once more. Pause 2S. But as the final seconds tick away, a new threat emerges, setting the stage for an even greater battle ahead. Pause 2S. In the next 30 minutes, the hero cop faces a new challenge that tests his resolve and determination. Pause 1S. As he delves deeper into the mystery, he uncovers secrets that could change everything. Pause 1S. Michael, our hero, receives an anonymous tip about a looming threat that could put countless lives in danger. With his daughter Hope by his side, they race against time to decode the cryptic messages and piece together. In this pivotal chapter, we take a step back to delve deeper into the backstory of our hero cop Michael and the baby he rescued, now his daughter Hope. Pause 1S. This 30-minute segment will explore the emotional and psychological impact of that fateful rescue on both Michael and Hope, shedding light on the challenges they faced over the years. Pause 1S. Pause 1S. Through heartfelt interviews with key figures including Michael's colleagues, friends, and family, we gain insight into the man behind the badge. Pause 1S. Archival footage from the day of the rescue paints a vivid picture of the chaos and bravery that defined that moment. Pause 1S. Dramatic reenactments bring to life the trials and tribulations that Michael and Hope endured, highlighting their unbreakable bond and unwavering resilience. Pause 1S. Pause 1S. As we peel back the layers of their story, we uncover the emotional scars and the strength that has kept them moving forward. Pause 1S. Each interview reveals a piece of the puzzle, offering a comprehensive and engaging narrative that will captivate and inspire. Pause 1S. Pause 1S. Join us as we journey through their past, reflecting on the moments that shaped them and the revelations that continue to guide their path. Pause 1S. This chapter is not just about a rescue, but about the enduring power of love, courage, and hope. Pause 1S. Stay tuned for a story that will touch your heart and leave you breathless. Pause 2S.